Star Wars live-action series details have been released. Now, on the pilot show that we did for Clubit TV, we did talk a little bit about Star Wars and the idea that I think they're basically saying that they're going to stop a lot of the spin-off movies. Now,
yeah, which is good.
This is now like they're going to be taking it into a little bit of a new direction with the launch of their Disney streaming service, and they're going to be releasing, obviously, a live-action Star Wars series. And so, more information was released. This is from Ars Technica, Samuel Axon. He said, so a little bit of talking here, so I do apologize. I'm going to read this through. The first details have been revealed about Lucasfilm's live-action Star Wars TV series. We previously knew only that it was coming and that the writer/director Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man and The Jungle Book and Swingers, would executive produce, and that it would eventually air on Disney's coming streaming video service. This week, we learned the title, The Mandalorian, and Jon Favreau has posted the first image. If you're watching in the edited version of the show, it'll be showing now. If you listen to the podcast version, you can't see.
It's just us.
It's a picture of basically, if you think of Boba Fett, but more grey. Favreau also shared some details about the setting and the subject of the series on Instagram. He posted, after the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. We follow the travails of the lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. Also, with this announcement, obviously, with the title, a little bit of synopsis and an image, there were also released information about the directors of some of the episodes. I don't know how long the season's going to be, but here's some of the directors. So they announced that Dave Filoni, who did a lot of the episodes from Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, really, really good. He handled a lot of the Mandalorian story arcs within those series. Deborah Chow, who did some of the episodes of Jessica Jones. Rick, and this is where I'm going to really butcher people's names, so I do apologize. Rick Famuyiwa, who did direct some of Dope. Bryce Dallas Howard, a director best known as an actor in Jurassic World. And this is the one that's been bugging me all day. He's the guy who directed Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi. I've literally been reading that name all day.
I haven't listened to a word you've said. I'm so sorry. We've been dicking around, quite literally. But we've just been
I was literally not looking at the screen. I'm like, I'm focused.
So, I'm so sorry.
They are some really groovy names. Did you not listen to someone else saying them before?
No, that would have been a sensible thing. That would have been
pronounced.
So obviously loads of new information coming out about this. For me, I am a massive Star Wars nerd.
Likewise.
So knowing that they're going to be venturing in something that's going to be to do with Mandalorians is really, really cool. But with this announcement, Ed, you're a big fan of Star Wars, like you just said. What are your thoughts on this new Star Wars spin-off series?
I think it's good that they're doing a Star Wars spin-off series, and I think it's slightly annoying they've gone for Mandalorians because it's not. There's more interesting things to go over in Star Wars lore. Admittedly, most people don't know about Star Wars lore, so you can't really base it on that. So, will they do it well? Probably.
Will they? Won't they?
I'm sure they'll deliver it well, and I hope it'll be exciting. Disney have the budget to make it really, really good, or at least to pump enough money into it to hopefully make it good. It's got some really notable directors doing it who will hopefully be able to bring a decent vision of it to life. I can't. I'd rather have seen more stuff with ancient Jedi or Sith. I know that sounds
sticking
really
around
cliche.
about that era, but around the films quite a lot.
I want the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I want the history. I want lore kind of stuff. I want stuff that sets up maybe tiny little plot details within the main series. But maybe I'm just being a nerd about it. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to them doing it, and hopefully it'll be good. And hopefully they'll.
Just in case you listen to the audio version, James is trying to be distracting with a baby.
I've been watching.
I want to see how good his concentration is.
I'm a radio professional.
See, I find it really hard to get excited about Star Wars because I'm not a huge fan of it. So, I like it, but I'm not a huge fan for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, no, because I really like it, so I wish I could get more into it. But
I love it. I think it's great. I got so into, honestly, when the 7th film came out, when The Force Awakens came out after that massive hiatus, I was
teaser trailer. It was just
the teaser trailer just sent chills through me when it first went in the cinema. I just flooded with emotion. I just instantly felt overcome. I got teary. I was just like, oh, this is amazing. And it was just kind of, it was everything I wanted.
It's like childhood coming back.
Last Jedi was, I enjoyed it. It has problems, but you know, everyone has their own version of how many problems it has.
Jim's got problems.
All we know is that J.J. Abrams, who did the first one, is coming back to do the final one. So hopefully we'll stitch it together like the rocky middle of the bridge that it could be, you know? I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. So, Luke, what about yourself?
I like egg, so
good.
So Mandalorian is your thing, then?
I'm really keen to see them sort of do more with like people who are like Boba Fett and stuff like that, because obviously there's not a lot about him really in like sort of mainstream stuff. Is there? So
no, not really.
Obviously you can. Though. But he's really, he's like a lot of people's favourite character. Yeah,
well,
but
only with the power of comics and hindsight, you know.
The PS2 game, Bounty Hunter, is fantastic.
That was great. That was amazing.
So, if they can do something, you know, with a TV show, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I agree with you saying about the spin-off series. I mean, I think maybe they need to do some more meaningful ones.
But maybe this will set them up to do new ones. Maybe they're treading around with stuff.
Is this going to be like a Netflix thing, or
it's going to be on their streaming service?
Right.
So which is good.
Yeah, because Disney has their own one.
Netflix under budget projects like this ludicrously. So whilst it's a pain to be like, oh, I use Netflix, it's a good thing it's not on Netflix for the quality of the show.
To be fair though, like Altered Carbon, Netflix did amazingly well with.
Yeah, but that's one project, like in an ocean. Like there's a few things like Altered Carbon that are really good, but it's in an ocean of tripe.
Yeah,
super keen.
Underfund this stuff. So you might as well do it through Disney, who will just throw everything they have at it, and it'll hopefully become iconic.
Personally, for me, like what interests me about the series is obviously once it's a TV series as well, because then it can sort of hopefully delve a little bit more into character, hopefully have a similar sort of, obviously maybe it won't be as dark and as gory as like Game of Thrones, but that's like, it goes very depth into character, and hopefully that's what we'll get from this, and some really interesting stories. Like, because I'm going to nerd out a little bit now. You see, Boba Fett and Jango Fett are actually in canon actual Mandalorians. They are actually just bounty hunters with the armor. So
yeah, they've got Mandalorian armor.
Technically, the first time on screen, we're actually, hopefully, this may be an actual Mandalorian. We're presuming, because obviously we still not know a few full information. It could be, I've forgotten the name, but there's a Mandalorian character in the Rebels cartoon series. There's a lot of rumors going around that this character could actually be her. And her search for
flag in Force Awakens, so potentially they've been teasing this for a while. I don't know how recently they came up with this plan.
Again, it could be tying into the movies a little bit. I kind of hope that because it's going to be set on like the outer reaches, if I remember the quote correctly, it's going to be set out the way. We're not going to have interference with like Luke or any of the other film iconic characters, or really any mentions of them, because the galaxy's fucking huge. We don't need them. And let's actually see some stories from like a lone gunslinger who's obviously got his own agenda. That would, or her own agenda. That would be really interesting, and seeing a different side to it. That's what I did like a little bit about the Han Solo film, where
wasn't Rogue One a bit like that?
Yes, but again, it still tied it very much in with the main characters. And like I say, Han Solo did that as well, but it did show a little bit of the underbelly of the world, like say with Rogue One, like you say, where it showed you, I believe it was like Coruscant or one of the built-up cities, planets right at the beginning. Go on, Ed. Sorry, go ahead.
Controversial opinion. I don't think Rogue One is a good film. I think that Rogue One should have been this series that they're doing. I don't think you can expect people to care about the suicide mission to get the Death Star plans within
well, maybe if it was the first film you watched.
No, but it's an hour and but realistically, it's
like
not.
If you haven't watched any of the others.
Yeah, but realistically, it's not. And so you have to place it in where it is. Like, you watch this film as part of an anthology after you've seen everything else. The kind of story that it's telling deserved to be told over the space and pacing of a series. So Death Note is a great example of an adaptation of something long with pacing that, when crammed down, doesn't work. And I felt that Rogue One was what had really sensible ideas and could have been very emotive, but I'm expected to care about these really rubber band emotion characters within an hour and a half.
Yeah, you don't have time to get attached. Yeah.
And then you go, I don't really care. I've forgotten their names. I can only tell you
I really, really enjoyed Rogue One as a story, but I have to admit, like you say, I don't think I could actually name any of the characters.
There's so many pointless characters. There's so many bits that don't make sense, that it's kind of it deserved to be spread out and paced out in a series. And I think this was a bit short-sighted of them, because clearly they went, everyone loves Star Wars, quick, money into Star Wars, let's put out a film every year. And then Solo did badly, and then they went, what are we doing? And then stopped that. I think if they didn't have that initial greed, they would have put that thought in and then would have done this now and would have made
I think the Han Solo film sequels should be in this format, should be in this sort of style, like episodic, because I think they would work better, because I really enjoyed the Solo film. I liked the character. I want to see more Han Solo and Chewie stories now. Like, I really want to see what they get up to, like doing smuggling runs and getting themselves into trouble. I loved the Lando character in the Han Solo film. It was played brilliantly. So I'd like to see stories about him, but in this sort of streaming service format. I think it would work really well. There is also rumors, taking it away from Star Wars for a second, that they may be doing some superhero series as well, following maybe Hawkeye, so some of the other ones and things like that. Which
official Disney ones.
Yes. So they're basically on the streaming service. So Scarlet Witch, is that the right word? That's the right character name. They may be doing her character possibly as a series as well. And there is also
Black Widow or Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet Witch, definitely Scarlet Witch. And also a Loki series as well. So that's interesting.
That'd be good.
Because, like, in the end, if Disney can put the budget in and really sort of create some interesting stories and not have them in such a big spectacular film, but still have some really great moments, I'm interested in absorbing those forms of content like that. If that makes sense. I feel like I'm waffling.
I think they should make an X-Men. I think they should make X-Men a TV series.
Yeah, but that's down to Sony, isn't it?
No, but I think that would be the best
one by Fox. X-Men is.
Is it
by Disney? Yeah. But yeah, so wrapping it all together, so I'm interested to see what's more. I want to know, is this really stepping away as much as possible from the movies? I know it's set in the era of the films, but I want to see where it's going to be going and what sort of tone the series is going to be in, because I think if they did just make it just a little bit darker, that would be absolutely awesome. I'd be up for that. Obviously, it's going to make it child friendly. That's, I'm presuming, where they will go. But if they could just skate that line, I'd be well up for that. That'd be amazing. Yeah. Cool.